Peace, world. How you doing? Welcome to another episode of NYP Talk Show. It is Thursday. I am tired, but, but the show goes on. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. We got super chats. We have merch on the website. Tell a friend, tell a friend. We are the coolest podcast out here in this conscious space. Not with the gimmicks. It's all about the people, and we do not exempt ourselves because everybody has a time to grow and learn, to discover themselves and heal from their trauma. So, peace to everyone out here that's tuned in, those that are listening. Thank you for rocking out with us. Tonight's special guest is the divine feminine goddess, queen, sister that's been rocking with us for about 2 years. The the divine karma, aka Sister Cametri. How you doing, beloved? Welcome.
I
Welcome
am
back.
well. Thank you, Mikey. Always a pleasure, beloved. Always a pleasure with you.
Yep. Damn, it's been a minute, man. I'm happy we got you on here. So tonight we'll be talking about who are you sleeping with energetically. It's a deep concept for both, men and women to, understand the sacred science behind sexual relations, what we do, who we get involved with. Some of us out here tend to worry about, sexual diseases and pregnancies and all that
Mhm.
extra stuff, STIs, but there's something out there known as sexual transmitted demons,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know? So let's get into it, beloved.
Whew. This gonna be a rough one.
Really?
Not rough. Listen,
Why you
Mike.
say that for?
I won't say rough, but it's just so many people that don't overstand, and I'm not judging because I was there, but don't overstand
Hmm.
the energy of sex. It's a sacred energy exchange, and people don't understand the concept of who you land with plays a major part in a lot in your life.
Mm. It does. It will affect you. So like for foundational understanding, what does it mean for sexual energy to be considered spiritual energy?
Because it's an exchange. It literally is. So sex in my book is a spiritual and sacred energy exchange, and what that means is it's not just about the physical. You
Hmm.
know, I always think of it as the divine masculine putting a deposit into the bank, and the divine feminine is the account. And this just
Mm.
my little philosophy, but all money ain't good money.
Mm.
And the same applies for energy when you look at it like that. All sacred energy exchanges are, some of them ain't sacred at all. And once you take that energy into
Yeah.
your DNA, because it is transferred into your DNA, man, it affects you on all levels. It does.
Got you. Got you. Um, how have Asian traditions described the exchange of energy during sex?
I think the ancients, and I'll just say, I've done a lot of past life digging and things of that nature on myself, but it was
Mm.
different then. We moved into, it ain't even, it's everything is physical now. Back in the day, and I'll say, maybe, two or three generations back from my generation, even, when our ancestors were on, plantations and in slavery times, quote unquote, it was different. You treasured that. That was a sacred, you treasured that time. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't something to think about. It was respectful and it was honored. And now, yeah, now it's publicized, and it's a little out of hand. I'll just say that.
So you say it's no longer intentional. No, it's no longer intentional. No sacred. It's just very loose.
For some
No
people, yeah.
boundaries.
For some people, yeah. I like, people like us, obviously, we know the difference. And I think we making a shift back to, it being more sacred, it being more special, it being more intentional. Because the last few years, the low frequency and NPCs and the concubines have been pretty much setting the tone for what what sacred energy exchange is, and has not been sacred, but it's slowly making a shift because they set the tone for quite a little bit, but I think it's we coming back around to not just moving around in some wild energy and being intentional with who you give your energy to and who you receive that energy from.
Got you. Why is it that people choosing, not to be like soapboxing or anything else, but why is it that, us as human beings, because I'm thinking it's part of human nature, is that we tend to like rely more on the carnal. It like, is it something that we trying to fill in a void?
I
Because
think
sex
so.
could be pleasuring too for many.
I think so. I think we're trying to fill a lot of voids. And me and you talked about this before. Um,
Hmm.
when we go through traumas in our life, we put ourselves to where we get needy and we start wanting different things, but because we're trying to fill that void from childhood trauma, we talked about mommy daddy issues, whatever it is, but there most of the time people get in that fleshy kind of movement and just
Hmm.
get real because they have a void that they're trying to fill, and they unintentionally believe, it's not intentional, I don't think, believe that there's someone that they can have be intimate with that's going to fill that void, and then when it's done and that void is not filled, then you're back to square one, you're disappointed, but then the cycle continues because now you're looking for the next, well, maybe the next person can fill this void, and it's just a continuous cycle for a lot of people.
Okay, got you on that. So what differentiates lust from spiritual connection and sex in sexual encounters?
Lust is completely driven by the ego and flesh. It's
Right.
very materialistic. It's very, not to say, you shouldn't be attracted to the person you're being intimate with, but
Hmm.
lust is that, in it for an orgasm kind of situation.
Mm.
I want that peak, you want that peak, man, let's just get together and do this thing, and there's no intention set, there's nothing sacred about it. Lust is all about ego and materialistic gain, if you will, two people
So
trying to hit that quick bliss right quick.
that quick bliss, they call it lust. You don't think it could also be sexual chemistry as well? Like
It could be, because I'm not saying if lust is involved, there's always an attraction. You know
hmm
what I'm saying? There's always going to be chemistry because if you moving with somebody in lust, there's always going to be that chemistry because you're not going to lust for something that you're not desiring or don't like. You know what I'm saying? So the chemistry is going to be there. The problem comes in where that's the main focus of the hookup of whoever you're dealing with is
hmm
the chemistry, the attraction. That's the main thing. When you don't have any sacred knowledge behind it, any and being equally yoked, so to speak, with the person that you're dealing with, like I said, it's going to be a continuous cycle. And not to say people don't have one night stands and things of that nature, they happen,
hmm
but when you overstand that you're just not sleeping with or being intimate with the person that you're with right now, you're taking on all the energy of everybody they slept with and vice versa. That's when you start thinking about things like that, you'll be a lot more cautious and a lot more intentional on who you move with.
mm. That's true. That's true. That's true. Because it affects people both physically, spiritually, and scientifically also, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anatomy. So in regards of exchange and bonding, right? What types of sexual energy, what types of energy are exchanged during sex? Emotional, mental, or spiritual? And we want to get, deep into that.
All of the above is exchanged.
Really?
So you can trauma bond through sex. The
Hmm.
person that you're with, right? And when I break this down, it sounds like people really get in their mental, and it makes you think about, damn, I done did a lot, because you know what I'm saying. But again, I want you to think about a spiritual menage a trois.
Mm.
Energy is always exchanged. I'm not just laying down with you. When I'm intimate with you, I'm taking on residual energy from individuals you have been with as well. And I'm sure it's a time frame. I'm not going to take on 100% of somebody you was with 20 years ago or 10 years ago. But if you moving with somebody that is, out there doing their thing in the streets, you're not just sleeping with them, right?
Mhm.
So you taking on all the energies of the individuals they have been with. I'll call them residuals because you're going to get their residual energy because energy can't be created or destroyed. It's only transferred and it's going to be transferred.
Mhm.
So the question is, how many spiritual menage a trois have you been in? And then you get couples that one cheated, one person cheated, and the other person decided to cheat. Oh my gosh. And then now you think of that. You cheating, your person cheating. And just think of
Mhm.
all the energy and all the residuals of different people that you are now taking on that is being transferred into your DNA. If a person has trauma, and you dealing with somebody and being, intimate with somebody that has a lot of trauma, it's going to be transferred into your DNA in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Like it's inevitable. This is how energy works.
Mm. So then from that point on, but if both partners are doing them as they say it, out there being promiscuous, that opens up like a vortex, energy vortex, like a hole of just you open up that door,
Mm-hmm.
Pandora's box, all types of things that come in.
Yep,
It would change the dynamic between the couple.
it is.
They'll
It
look at each
will.
other. It will fracture the attraction.
It will. It will.
Got you. Got you. How does sex affect the subconscious mind and emotional imprinting?
Well, your subconscious, emotions are just energy in motion. We always talk about that. But emotions are also your compass to let does it feel good? Does it not feel good? That's how you know if you're moving in the right direction or moving in the wrong directions with your emotions. But your subconscious mind, it makes a horrible master, but it makes an absolute amazing slave. So it's going to absorb whatever you give it, right? So if you're with somebody and you telling yourself, this is about sex or whatever the case may be, that's what your subconscious mind is going to be like, gotcha. Because that's what you're feeding it. But, people think sex is just about the physical. All of your senses are supposed to be involved when you're being intimate with someone, not just the physical. All of your senses are supposed, and most people don't move in that energy.
Hmm.
It's literally just about the physical part. So your subconscious mind is going to do whatever that makes a beautiful slave. And if you keep feeding you keep dealing with that same person, and you keep dealing with, all the trauma that's attached to them, or they could be a very deceptive person. Because a lot of times we deal with people and we know they ain't. I'm gonna keep it 100. We
Hmm.
know they ain't. But we deal with them because the attraction is good, the sex is good. But you have to remember, you keep feeding that to your subconscious mind. It's going to convince itself, okay, this is what we like, this is what we want, and it's going to give you more of that because it's called pay attention. If you paying it, that's what it's going to give you.
Mm, I like that. Beautifully put. So this is a perfect segue to this question. In regards of that, knowing that the red flags are there, the signs are there. This person
Mhm.
is toxic, not good for you. But we have this energetic chemistry when it comes to being intimate with each other sexually, right?
Mhm.
What is the concept of soul ties, and is it real or symbolic?
I think soul ties are very, very real. I truly believe that sometimes we don't close out cycles in past lives, and we very well may come into this life in different bodies. And we have this soul tie. This is a lot of soul ties are a lot of reason why people stay in situations longer than they should because they don't understand it's a soul tie and it's a cycle that's supposed to be closed out. So I do believe soul ties are very real. Um, Soul ties can allow you to stay even if the sex ain't good because
Mm,
there's an energy there from a past life. Soul ties are usually more difficult to break away from than just I'll say a regular person that you're dealing with. But yeah, I believe they're truly real. And a lot of people, they don't know it's a soul tie. They don't know that this is a cycle. They don't know it's for healing. You're supposed
Mm.
to heal from this. This is a cycle you're supposed to heal from. There's always one person that you deal with, that there's nobody else that could have made you do self reflection the way that this person has done it. And usually that's a soul tie or the person that has hurt you the most that you've dealt with, because there's nobody else that could have shown you some things about yourself, man, that you needed. Nobody else could have shown you the way that they've shown you. But I do
Mm.
believe soul ties are very, very real, and people mistake them for twin flames and soul mates, which is different, you know,
Mm.
karmics from past life. All these things exist. They do. And when you mix that with all this sacred energy exchange, it becomes very confusing. And you stay in, you miss the red flags and you stay in situations longer than you should have.
Oh. Mm. Nah, that's dope. That,
Your
nah, that,
Mikey, you be cracking me up.
I'm listening because my connection kind of flaked, but it's like you saying so much. And I'm like, damn, like I have heard of soul ties, and sometimes
Mhm.
in layman terms, people would say, "Oh, you just p whipped," or "She's hypnotized," whatever the case may be. Because you think because that physical thing, but I'm like, nah, I think there is some type of connection there. That
Mhm.
person probably put some roots on you, as they said.
And
They
what,
got
that
you,
may be possible?
yeah, they got you hooked on them. You know what I'm saying? They probably
Oh
done
yeah.
spent, you know,
Yep.
because I don't know if people had experienced this, but there are times some people you have become intimate with, you're like 3 to 5 years past, you be like, yo, why am I having this moment? Like, dang,
Hmm.
why this person's crossed my mind? Or,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? You run into them, they give
Yep.
you that look, and you be like, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of wild, man.
It happens. It happens to all of us.
So how can one break a soul tie? What's the process? Can you give us a like one
um,
example of breaking a soul tie?
oh yeah, 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 yeah. Been there, done that a couple times. Um, First realizing that's what it is. You know, once you realize that a person was only in your life for a season and
Mm-hmm.
to show you some things about yourself, that so you can heal yourself, that's the breaking moment for it's time to end this cycle. And I'm telling you, a lot of people don't. It's people that's in relationships this very second
Mm-hmm.
that this person was a soul tie, something that you were supposed to learn something from and heal from.
Mm-hmm.
And they stay in it thinking that it's, this is just how love is supposed to be, but it's not. When women, we famous, divine feminists. I'm tired, I'm leaving, I'm this, that, and the third. When you ready to go, you're not gonna tell nobody. You just gonna be done. Like it ain't no conversation to be had. But again, you have to realize this is a lot of self-reflection. You have to realize and look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, has this individual helped me be the better version, the best version of myself? Have I seen the best version of myself with this person? Because if the answer is no, you just figured out the $1 million answer to the question. This is a cycle that needs to end. What did I have to learn here? What did I need
Mm-hmm.
to learn? How did I need to, learn to love myself more? Because for a lot of divine feminines, that's what we end up in these cycles about, because we need to learn how to love ourselves more and stand on our own if we need to. Happiness is an inside job. I can't make you happy. You can't make me happy. And if you
Say that
go
again.
into a relationship thinking that this other person is supposed to make you happy, you already lost the battle. You
Say
already
that
lost.
again. Oh,
I
hold on. Let me give you a. Oh, hold on. That's so true. That is so true. Continue, sister.
it but that's the I'm not judging. I know because I've been there, thinking that someone is supposed to make me happy. And if people
Exactly.
realize this, it's this thing out here, like people are afraid to like it's a bad thing to be single and be on your own. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
When source, God, whoever source is for you, puts you in this position to be on your own, that is the best time for growth. One, because you don't want to take all that baggage. into your next relationship. But it is the perfect time for you to realize what really makes you happy, not from someone else. All this is going to come from within. And I say all the time, we don't attract what we want, we attract who we are. So if you jumping from relationship to relationship to relationship because you're broken, you're going to attract a broken person. Once
Yep.
you heal and you happy within yourself, you're going to attract someone that is already happy before they met you.
Yeah, well, that's powerful right there. Hold on, beloved. We got somebody that says, she said, yes, 15 years. I dead I ended a abusive relationship. I finally woke up and left.
Oh,
Peace to
hey,
you,
MJ.
beloved.
Yeah, I know who that is.
MJ, being single has made me find myself again. That's a
Mhm.
fact. Cause you know, especially young men, when we go through breakups, based on our environments, what principles are instilled in us, we are always taught to go out there and go, interact
Mhm.
and sleep as many women as possible, right, to help get over that person, right?
Yep.
Looking back at hindsight of that, it's beneficial on a sense. I'm not agreeing with it fully
Right.
that you're just physically doing what you're doing just to have a good time, but in
Mhm.
reality, it doesn't cover up that wound because you
Mm-mm.
need time to process that separation. You just had that breakup, you're going through that heartbreak. Like you're not allowing yourself, time to process and heal and learn from your errors. Because personally, can you hear me? You know, both men and women, depending on the individual, if they are at that mature level of accepting accountability, they
Yep.
always point fingers after the breakup.
Yep.
Like it's that person's fault, without, reflecting on them. Because whenever you pointing fingers at somebody, three are pointing back at you. So you got to do some inflection, some
Yep.
reflection, and, introspect. Just be like, you know what? You got to look back at that and be like, I allowed this behavior to take place. I
Good.
tolerated this. I
Good.
subjected myself to that. I, had some cognitive dissonance, like seeing the
Yep.
proof in the pudding, but I
Yep.
convinced myself to see otherwise. And then, you get blinded by the physical thing. Like you be like, yo, but the sex with the person is so great. The intimacy is like this person knows your body. We know what each other like, but what's the end game, And don't get me wrong. Now we enjoy the physical aspect of it. Don't get
Oh
you be like,
yeah.
yo,
Oh
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? You on your way, as they put it, you going to your sneaky links house. You know what I'm saying? You got the
Yep.
overnight bag.
Yep. I know. I know. I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? You be like, yeah, this person puts it down like that, but in reality, it's it's making a bigger ditch though. We gotta come to a point where you gotta be mature about it and be like, it's not going anywhere.
It's not bad. You know what I'm
No,
saying? I'm not saying this like it's a bad thing,
we
quote.
human beings. Right.
Yeah. In our flesh, we in this matrix. In our flesh, it is what it is. It got attached to us and we have to deal with it sometimes. And everybody's been there. We all been there where you got somebody that put it down like that. But once once y'all finish doing grown folk stuff, you ain't got nothing in common. Y'all really ain't got too much to talk about. You can't have no kind of intellectual
Mm,
conversation with them. That's
mm-mm.
when, you had them conversations to yourself. Uh,
Depending on the connection. Yeah, yeah, and what generation is too is like you could be things in your life could be going great, and somehow you get around this person, you find yourself off your square, or
yes.
things that you were ascending a certain point, and things start going
Hmm.
down. You're like, yo, I don't know. You start questioning
Yes.
these things, like what's going on with this person, because you don't know what this person spiritual practices are like, what they involved in, as you say, which other person they are sleeping with.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That women, I can't speak of them, but when some women say that their pH balance go off or whatsoever, and you hear all kinds of, I don't even want to. I don't even
No,
want to talk
no,
about that.
I'm glad. No, I'm glad you said that because people
Mhm.
really think like pH balance, diet, cleanliness, and all these things have nothing to do with that sacred energy, and it does, and it really,
Mhm.
really, really does. Like if you plant-based vegan like myself, and I literally had a couple guys that are really good male friends of mine, and they don't even know each other, and I've heard this several times. It's like, yeah, what did they say? Like vegan women or women that don't eat meat or have a
Mhm.
clean diet, that they're vajayjay tastes better than a woman that eats meat and eats junk food and eating hostess. And I never heard like a guy say that before. And I was just like, so this does really make a difference. It really does make a difference. But, you know, I mean, would you lay down with somebody whose pH balance is off, who has odors, who has.
Bombo clot!
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
Because if you're not clean with the outside of your temple, you already know the energy with inside is gonna match. Hands
Exactly.
down. It's
Talk
gonna
about it.
match.
Talk about it. No, no, it's true. I'm glad you meant. Touching on that is crazy, man. I know this. I know people watching this show probably like, nah, they are wild. But these are conversations that we need to have because I know on our platform we like to talk about historical stuff, Nation of Islam, Moorish science, and all that. But there's other things, there's other communities out there that need to
Mhm.
be heard and other interests people have. So I'm glad we brought this to this platform. Is polarity necessary for strong energetic exchange?
Yes, I do. Because polarity, especially when it comes to divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy,
Mm-hmm.
if you're imbalanced, I mean, if you got yourself, you mastered your divine femme, your divine mask, and you are in balance. But you lay down with somebody that has way too much divine masculine in them, or has way too much divine feminine. It's just like a pH balance. If you lay down with them and have this energy exchange, it's going to throw you off your spiritual game. Like there's no if, ands, or buts about it.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to polarity, and when I look at polarity, especially when I'm talking about let's say sex, man, I want to know, is that person, do they have their DM and DF in balance? Do they have a good balance between their work life and play life? Having balance, I'm telling you, is so important with who you lay down with. I mean, the
Yeah.
Christians is always talking about being equally yoked.
Mm-hmm.
But if you spiritual on the top of your game, you don't want you ain't trying to go at the bottom of the polarity scale. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to, because it's going to, people seem to think that you're going to give that person good energy, but you have to understand, when it comes to energy exchange, it's called an exchange for a
Yeah.
reason. So you
Mm-hmm.
might give them 25-30% of your good energy, but are
Yep.
you willing to take that 70 of them?
Discernment, spiritual discernment. I got you. You gotta be conscious. Um, MJ got something. She said, as a person who has been, wow, let's say very young. That's TikTok language. For sexually
No.
abused.
Hmm.
I never really felt true intimacy.
Hmm.
Sorry that happened to you, sister.
Hey
And
MJ,
I
how
hope
you
you're
doing,
healing.
love?
And I hope that you're healing. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, does
Hmm.
that affect people that have experienced that went through those traumatic experiences?
Hmm.
Obviously,
Yeah, speaking from someone who was, I'm transparent, was RAPED at 16,
sorry
um,
about that.
by someone that my family knew, and I didn't even like. I don't even think I even told most of my family until I got older. Um, but that trauma, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't heal from it, it is just like that space we talked about, that voided space. Especially if you are intimate with people that are not in that healing nature, that what we talked about, polarity, that are not balanced in their divine feminine,
Mm-hmm.
divine mass, or just, got, they might be an NPC or just a low frequency being. It's gonna affect you if you have some kind of trauma. I tell anybody, especially divine femmes, because we have a tendency to get
Mm-hmm.
SA or RAPED, you know, and we hold on to it. A lot of times it's people in our family, so it kind of gets pushed up under the rug, and it will damage you for life. I'm telling you, it will damage you
Wow.
for life if you don't do that healing, and it will make you not want to be sexually active with anyone, because when you hold on to that trauma, it
Mm.
will prevent you from having a full orgasm. It'll prevent you from, the person you might be with may be healing, because sex is not just about the physical, it's also supposed to be healing. And if you can't get any of that,
Mhm.
you just like hands off. Don't what am I even being intimate for?
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Peace to all of you who are victims of that, man. I hope you find proper healing.
Mm-hmm.
And the sister said, she said, I'm glad you're talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? Yes, I told my family, and they said I was lying.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a lot of families will do and say that because to them it's a shameful taboo, and
Yep.
they don't want to believe that. And I think it's mostly like they don't have the emotional intelligence or the capacity to really process something like that because they're in disbelief. And you got to think about it. Many of our elders were victims of that too, coming
Mm-hmm.
from the world that they came in.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had men that were like in their 40s and 50s chasing teenagers.
Yep.
Well, I don't get that. I don't get that, and that's just a bunch of weirdo stuff, man. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I kind of figured that for those who were victims of those traumatic experiences, I always wonder, like, do they find it impossible to connect with somebody? Or because it could work in both ways. It could make them difficult with connecting with somebody else, or they can make them hypersexual. You know what
It
I'm
can.
saying? So
And I've seen both. Yeah. And I'm, man, I'm telling you, trauma and sex, I'm telling you, people just don't know how closely related and how they are with each other. Um, if you're dealing with somebody that got trauma, I'm telling you, hands down, it's like drinking battery acid, but in a sexual capacity, because people seem to think, that it's not going to affect them. And you have men, and I'm gonna say men just from my,
yeah, go ahead.
concept in my life, that knew or know that this woman has been through a lot. They might
Mhm,
even know she was abused in some type of way, but they know these things and they know this woman is vulnerable and they take advantage of it, right? And now you've got this chaotic ass energy in this energy exchange, and they don't even realize the damage, the more damage that they've done to
mhm.
this divine feminine, because now you've transferred your chaotic selfishness, which is a low vibration and a low energy, right? You've transferred that into an individual who is already traumatized, who is
Mhm.
already confused and lost.
So it's like again, both it's the trauma bonding. Both are just passing broken
Mm-hmm.
cycles to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and it just carry on like that. That is crazy. Hold on, somebody in the comment section. Who you sleeping with and waking up to?
I like that. I like that.
Several like yeah, because yeah, like
I
now I'm
like
saying
that.
I like how you said like it's true because you laying down with with a gargoyle, waking up with a demon. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it's like you said, you got to be equally yoked, as the Christians put it. But it's using discernment and knowing your partner, connecting with them,
Mm-hmm.
building
Mm-hmm.
that bond. Because even still, you could build a bond with a person. You don't know the person's inner truest thoughts. You know what I'm saying? You have
Very
an
true.
idea of what we do because certain things could creep in whatsoever. How does sexual union mirror cosmic or universal principles?
Well, I don't know if I explained this to you before on a show, but I'll say it again. As above, so below. First of all, that is
Hmm.
always the energy, and that doesn't exclude a sacred energy exchange. As above, so below.
Hmm.
But again, I always talk about my pyramid, and I think I explained this to you before with a relationship and anybody you're being intimate with.
Yeah.
And I kind of created this for myself as a guide to, should I date this person? This is my formula, right? And I look at a pyramid, and at the top of the pyramid is always source, whoever that is, God, Allah, Buddha, whoever source is for you at the top of that pyramid. Then at the bottom, you have yourself and your person with a pyramid. You two each have your own individuality, right? But y'all also, and the union is connected to source because it's at the apex. But at the bottom, you two are connected to each other. So the union is always connected to source, right? But you two are connected and keep your individuality at the same time. That's like I said, that I call it my little pyramid of love. And for me, that's what I use because that's cosmic energy and, learning from the mystery schools back in the day. But
Mhm.
that's everything to me because if I can't build with you, if we, like we can't just be exchanging energy in this day and age where we at now. We just can't be exchanging it just to be exchanging it. This is not the time for that.
That's a fact.
Top
Shout
of the
out to
I like that. Yeah.
Tyrone he's dropping some info on there. I
Yeah,
see you,
yeah,
brother.
I like that. And I like the sleeping versus waking up because when he said wake up, I thought
Yeah,
about spiritually and consciously. You can
yeah,
sleep with somebody, but who you waking up to, right?
exactly.
who you waking up to? Are y'all on that conscious level? I like that. I like that.
So I have a question, like, we now we speaking about connections, cosmic connections, chemistry amongst men and women, right?
Mhm.
What happened to married couples, for instance, like where they begin to drift apart? What there's many factors that do come in play, like,
Yes,
in today's society, you got to do with the financial aspect of it.
we do.
Um, maybe unresolved trauma, or there's
Hmm.
some promiscuity, cheating between them, adultery, but like what happened, the whole dynamic amongst them shift. Like they be like, this person was so sweet. Like say for instance we could factor in that there's no adultery whatsoever, but they just a big shift. What happened? They just lost that alignment.
I
Did they
don't
break
think
it down?
nothing was lost. It wasn't there from the beginning. People, and it's easy to say. I know I've been married twice, so when I speak, I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience and not speaking nothing bad. I just know better now. But people get into marriages and things like that without knowing each other and not
Mm-hmm.
even discuss what does a marriage look like to you. Like you have to have these conversations, and people get into marriages with people not even knowing what marriage looks like to that person, not fully know like where are you, what are your spiritual goals. These
Mm,
conversations do not happen anymore. People, tell you the process, the modern process of getting married. Y'all
yeah.
hook up, sex pretty good. They a decent person. Start spending the night at each other's house. 6 months down the line, oh, Mike can do this. Move in with each other. That lasts about a year, year and a half. Then what, we might can get married. Like none of the foundation work was added into
Mm-hmm.
none of this. Divine feminines, if you don't do nothing else before you get married,
Mm-hmm.
spend time with that man's divine feminines and his family
Mm-hmm.
before you do anything. Go see how he treats his mom, how he treats his sisters, how he treats his grandmothers, how he treats his aunt. Because you mess around and get married, and then you start really hanging out with the family, and
Mm-hmm.
you and you realize because how he treat them, that's exactly how he gonna treat you. And we don't
Mm-hmm.
we don't do that anymore. It's the hookup, stay the night, toothbrush over there, pair of socks over there, move in 6 months. Next year, you want to get married? Yeah, that's cool. Let's do that, and that's it.
Yeah, it's true, man. On both, and that's why I say for brothers too, man. That we both got to do healing. Just the man and the woman. You know what I'm saying? Must do healing because there are a lot of things we tend to overlook because a lot of us tend to have a false narrative or depiction,
Mm-hmm.
our own perspective of what we think marriage is. Like some people will look at a Tyler Perry movie and be like, "That's how it should be."
Yeah.
Or my grandparents
Yep.
lasted this long, or this other person, but you don't know what takes place behind closed doors. What kind of work was, you don't know the work that both men and women put together. You don't know what that may have taken place behind closed doors. The fights, the
True.
struggling, the
True.
trauma both may have inflicted upon one another. We don't factor those in. So my thing is this: you gotta make it work for you, for both of you guys. You both, as
Yep.
you said, build that foundation,
And what you need to
have
heal
an
from,
understanding,
like
and be
that is
realistic. Set these unrealistic.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, don't set these unrealistic goals and stuff like that.
I just
Like,
talk, and we do it, and
you know,
we sure do it. When with Divine Family, we do it. Oh my gosh, we do it. And I've said this
mm,
before on your show. We always fall in love with the person we want them to be or who we think they can be, instead of you. Not to say you don't want your person to grow, but
mhm,
if you're not in love with the person where they at right now, This ain't gonna work because you are forever going to be trying to push them to be that other person. And what if they ain't gonna never get there? If you can't love them where they at right now, you gotta start there before you start falling in love with who, oh man, he could be a great person if he this, and this. We can make it. Yeah, but are
Mm-hmm.
you in love with where he is right now in life? Because if you not,
Bingo.
you finna put all these expectations on him, and do he know that you put these expectations on him? Because if he
Mm.
don't, you already set yourself up for failure.
I'm glad we having this conversation. And what I like about this, I love how we both are going back and forth. It's not no man versus woman because I can't stand those conversations, those
Oh
gender, them
no,
gender biases
because it's on both
conversations. I'm
sides.
not with that because I'm like
Mm-hmm.
both sides got to learn because believe it or not, both sides learn from both sexes. A
Mm-hmm.
woman may learn from her father or the men involved in her life, and the man may learn from his mother and the woman involved in his life. And
Yeah,
a lot of that come with misinformation and like crazy echo chambers. Like nobody's correcting one another. So
right.
nobody's being realistic. They bringing in either their joy or their misery into it, and not
Yep.
understand that what works for you may not work for me.
No, and we can't
So
have relationships like our
that's
grandparents
dope.
and all of that. Yeah, I agree. These are different times. These are different times.
Yeah. And I say both men and women, like if you're in a union, encourage your partner to do great. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Going to, couples therapy sound cliche, but go to couples therapy and do
Absolutely.
individual therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
It comes back to that. And as far as energy control and discipline, what is a sexual transmutation and how does it work?
Transmutation with sex is, sexual alchemy. That's what it is. There's this myth out there that, spiritual folks like sex is boring. And,
Hmm.
people don't
Why
know
is that?
things like about tantric sex and energy points and things of that nature. You can get with the right person that's on the level that you are spiritually, and the two of you can have sex and literally change each other's lives. Y'all can heal each other. I've studied a lot about when you're with somebody intimately and you intimate and y'all hit that peak together. It's a great time to manifest and say what y'all want to manifest out loud. People don't understand the energy of what you can accomplish and that spiritual alchemy that you can really use for sex and have a good time and enjoy it all at the same time. You can use that thing to the max and it can absolutely change you and your person's life if you know how to transmute that energy for healing, for manifesting things and things of that nature. But these are things we have to study. Like most people don't even ask, do you even know what tantra is? What tantra sex is? Do you even understand what that energy is? Most
Yeah, what
couples do not.
what is that? What is that? Tell me, what is this tantra sex, man?
So tantra, and it doesn't just relate to sex, but tantra is
Hmm.
using all of your senses, not, and it's not just about the orgasm. There are certain ways you can lay with your partner. There's certain words you can say to your partner. There's certain sometimes it's almost like sexual yoga, things you can do with your partner because it will like you talk about transmuting energy. Y'all can
Hmm.
exchange energy and take it to a new level. And a lot of people don't even know. Damn it! I look, got two books
Oh, shoot. I
on
hear that.
tantra because I
I hear
love
that.
the energy, the idea. Yes, yes, and the idea that we can heal each other. And let's just say we're trying to manifest a business together with my partner. If you learn how to use
Hmm.
tantra and the energy of sex and not just your physical parts, but all of your senses, y'all can have sex
Hmm.
and set this intention. And when y'all peak, not instantly, when you feel yourself about to peak, pull back, get to it
Hmm.
again, pull back again. The more you hold back when you do peak, both of y'all set that intention, you can literally manifest something at the peak with your person.
Mm, I heard of that. Do sex magic. Heard it. Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard of that. Yeah,
Why
I
you say
heard.
that? You
Yeah, I
can
heard
do a
about that.
lot with energy with sex. People have no idea. No idea. They think spiritual folks and sex, I don't know what they think. It's crazy the myths that they, got out there. They don't, bring in crystals and different incense can make the energy in the room different. It's all kinds of stuff you can do, like it just to take things to the next level. And most people they don't. They get in it, do what they do and then they done.
Yeah, they probably get scared. They're like, yo, I don't know what's gonna happen. She probably tie me up like a pentagram and stuff like that, and turn the, you know
It's
what
some,
I'm saying?
but that's the thing. Like that's something that two people can study together. I know my next divine, counterpart or whatever. That's something I want to study with them. It is tantra, so we both have an understanding, man, to take things to the next level. Anybody can have sex and have an orgasm.
Hmm. That's easy. That's the easy part, right?
That's the easy part.
It's wanting to, like you said, a bornless ritual to create something out the universe, which is both of us reaching that point. Got you.
Absolutely,
Powerful,
absolutely.
powerful. Mm. How can one protect their energy while still be open, while still being open? Yeah, you got me laughing.
I
Go
know,
ahead.
right?
Mhm.
How can they protect their energy while still being open to what dating?
Yeah, they say for instance, dating or before they engage in any sexual encounter. How can one cover themselves from picking up these energies from that person?
Don't
Say that he or
settle.
she got an urge, like, you know what, I gotta get it. Let's get it popping. Let's just do
Okay.
this, but I gotta protect myself.
Well, I'm gonna
Hmm.
say this because we in some grown conversations right now. Don't
Hmm.
settle. People don't know how to control and deal with their hormones when they start raging. And another myth that's out there, like it's something wrong to sexually please yourself. I'm trying. I know we're gonna be on YouTube, so I'm trying to keep it clean. Like
Yeah,
there's something wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. The same techniques I said about manifesting, you can do that with yourself. But people have no discipline. Their hormones get to raging and they don't know what to do with them.
you might go blind. My mom used to say, "Yo, you." My mom said,
I heard that when I was younger.
"You're gonna go blind if you keep doing that." Like,
You're not gonna go. Oh my! I was watching old episodes of one of them comedies the other day, and I heard them say that you're gonna go blind if you keep doing that. No, but you can't. You can't settle. This is sacred. You
mm,
just can't. And if you feeling like your hormones is that off the chain, I will say this: if you can't control them and you lay with somebody that might have some residue from some other some other people
mhm.
that you just took in. You do what you need to do. Women afterwards, I don't know, do a sacred, go do an energy healing or clear your energy or some Reiki or something. But to protect yourself,
Boy, a yoni cleanse.
yep, a yoni. I don't know why women. It's so many women that don't do get a yoni steam or even know what it is like, especially if you've been with somebody or somebody's that daggone well. You just think of the people they've been with before you and that you didn't took on that. Some of y'all need to run and get a yoni steam. It need to be scheduled tomorrow.
All right, you see how they say for women they have yoni cleanses, right? How about for the brothers?
They got yoni for men too. Hmm. Sure do.
Where does it go?
You sit just like the woman sit,
Oh,
and your part is going to be. It's nothing. It's just like sitting on the toilet. That's exactly what it's like. It's just like sitting on the toilet, and there's herbs and everything and they have them for men. You sit there, you can do 15 minutes, do 30 minutes. I know because where I used to get mine, there's men that came in all the time with their wives, and will come get one. It's amazing. You can clear out your energy and some other things. And like I said, for those that you've been moving with some folks that you really know you probably shouldn't have been moving with, Go ahead and make that appointment.
A- As that brother Tyrone, as that brother Tyrone said, who are you sleeping and waking up with? Like brothers, sisters, we could do better, man. Watch who you laying down with, because some people out here got them spiritual heebie-jeebies. You worry about the physical aspects, but nah, they gonna bring nothing but chaos into your life, and sometimes it can end in fatal attraction.
Yeah, because somebody's off upstairs. That's why I said people usually, trust me, I've been there. Stay with the, does the man's DNA stay with the woman for life? No, I won't
Yeah.
say for life. I won't. Between time and her being with other partners will lessen that potency, if you will, for lack of better words, of his DNA. But um, it does stay there for, it does stay there for a while. And, lo and behold, people wonder why we having these chaotic children when it comes to energy, excuse me. If two chaotic people get together in deception and
Yep.
lies, both of y'all married, ain't supposed to be there in the first place, and you mess around and get pregnant, you just it's energy, people. It's
Mm,
it's going to you going to have, and I ain't saying chaotic like your child is bad, but you have to understand they gonna have that energy because of that's how it was created. If you create a child in deception and lies and craziness, it's going to take
mm.
some work when you have this child. This is all energy. It's all DNA. It's all the same thing.
All right, so I'm gonna speak from this perspective, right? What if people be like, "Oh, this is a setup in this matrix," because I know we were born with free will, and as we put it, the God does not want us to do these things, right? But yet it's on Earth, like this is here. Don't think some people will find that a bit unfair, or is that a test of faith or something like that?
I don't think it's unfair. And I think, like a volcano meeting a tornado, yes. I don't think it's unfair. And this is a free will
Mm,
planet. With, this, you have to include,
mm,
soul contracts are real. You have a reason why you're supposed to be here. You have lessons on this journey that you're supposed to, you know, learn. So you have to factor in all of that. And this is a free will planet. I don't, sex ain't bad. It's just you not meant to have it with any and everybody. It's supposed to be something very sacred. And we haven't been in the energy of having
mm,
sacred nothing when it comes to sex for years. But that's intentional from society, from, from traditions, from school, from, social media, all of these things. So, yes, have sex. It's an amazing thing, but be
mm,
mindful of who you're giving your energy to. And divine feminine, who you allowing to make this deposit into your account. Because again, all money ain't good money, just like all SEMEN ain't good, because that energy, it is going to be what it is.
mm. I'm seeing a brother was commenting on here because I think more people want to be added to this conversation. I probably got to get you and Tyrone back on here so we can have
Road chopping head, ain't it?
yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be a beautiful one. Tyrone, you know what to do, brother. Hit us on the messenger
for sure.
email.
For sure.
Nah, for real. I'm glad we had you on here to talk about this. Um, what is it? What is it again? I was about to ask another question, but I think
Yeah,
as far as men
much
too,
too
don't
early.
men
Yeah,
carry some residue on them too?
oh yeah. This ain't just for women. Very much so. You lay down with a woman, you are. It's the energy exchange is to each other. So if you laying down with a ratchet, just
Mm-hmm.
overstand. You finna take on her residuals as well. So if she moving out here in these streets like that, and what cracks me up is when people sleep with each other, friends or family, and they don't understand how energy work, and you
Mm-hmm.
move it in that low vibrational energy. It don't matter if you are male or female, DF or DM, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to absorb that energy. It ain't no way around it. So if you move in chaotic, If you sleeping with somebody that you know
Damn.
you ain't supposed to be messing with because that's your homeboy wife, it's energy. It's energy. It has to come
And that's
back around
wild.
way,
Wow.
shape, form, and fashion. It has to.
Uh, that's wild. Begging a homeboy's wife is wild.
It is. And then they act like they don't understand when that energy come full circle and just get crazy and chaotic, and you acting like you don't understand why. You put that energy into play yourself. You put that energy into play. What you think? It ain't. It's just gonna like disappear to the universe. No, that shit got to come full circle, bro.
Mm-hmm. Why, you know what? It's not worth it, man. You know what I'm saying? People be having those, listen, human beings be having those moments of weakness and urges. It's not
We do.
worth it.
We
It's
do.
not
We
worth it. You know what I'm
and just
saying?
heal from it. If you know, you know. I wasn't no saint when I was younger, neither. I
Oh,
ain't
listen,
none of us
I,
were. But learning how to heal yourself and moving from it, and being okay with being by yourself.
now
People
there
just
were times I was doing it when I was younger. I'm not gonna lie. I used to feel like, "Damn, what am I doing?" Like, I used to call it the regret climax. After you like, what the hell am I doing? like, like you know, I shouldn't even be messing with you. Like, but this is
bad.
like this is 20-year-old me, 19-year-old. I'm like, you're like, you know what? Yeah, you could come over. You can spend the night.
We all done did it, Mikey.
Yeah,
We all
yeah.
done
Like,
did there. We done threw too many back. I didn't smoke too many blunts, and that, and you wake up and just roll over like, God.
like if she got a man, like I should be like, not my problem. But then it comes back, like you know what I'm saying? It'll come back, like
And people,
you know what
they
I'm saying.
don't
You gotta.
understand, like they don't understand how the universe works to where you creeping with somebody that got somebody, and you know it. It's different if they told you they single, but you know they got somebody. And
Hmm.
when this blow up, that something happened, and y'all end up into it in a whole situation. What did you think was gonna happen?
I know it gets out of hand. Listen, I've been in situations like that before when I had This is me speaking in retrospect when I was 21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
Some chicks I was rocking with had a boyfriend whatsoever. Do she gets here, I tell her to call you. Don't call my phone no more, bro. But anyway, it could have led to some, craziness. Because I was that reckless with it. I didn't, I'm like, why you coming at me for it? But, you
it,
know,
ha- it happens. It really, you ain't the only one. I've had to change my numbers. It happens, bro. It do. We get to partying, and folks look different after you didn't have 4 shots of tequila. You know what I'm saying?
um, I was like,
It ain't that bad.
you were like, all right.
It ain't that bad. It's
You know what
just
I'm
one
saying?
night. We all been there. We
Yeah,
all been
just
there.
tell them like it's gonna hurt. I'm like, how? I wake up in the morning and you roll over. I'm not there. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know,
Yeah.
you're a dog. You broke my heart. I'm like,
Yes, yes. Us as divine feminists, that's how you know with them trauma bonds. You think that one night stand is supposed to be something, and then you got women out here now, these feminists,
and don't
that
get it twisted.
just, yeah, but they out here moving reckless. I'm gonna move how the men move. This how they do us. I'm gonna be the same way. You a divine feminine for a reason, love. You can't take do what you want to. That's all I can say.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Women, women are tough. Women are tough, man. Like when it comes
They
to,
are
I say,
nowadays.
guys
Body
can
count.
play, but women invented the game. Yeah,
I love Tyrone. Yeah, yeah.
definitely.
Your body count can get high real quick. Your body count can get high real freaking quick.
Yeah, it's
All
sad, right?
of
You
us.
start thinking like, what was I doing? Like everybody
Yeah.
has a piece of me. Some not worth it, man.
How many spiritual menage a trois have you had? Is what I'm asking the collective in the chat tonight. How many menage a trois, spiritual
People
menage
want
a trois, have you had?
they want to make that. Trust me, that's it.
And
When
I'm
you look
laughing.
back at it,
Me and you did talk before off the air, so I'm just thinking about some back to some of the conversations we did had. Yeah, I
yeah,
couldn't even think of that energy.
Yeah, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a renewed man, man. A man of God. So
Hey, you
listen,
know, when you know better, you
I
know
look
better.
back at
You
those things in hindsight. You do
yeah,
better. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
You do
you
better.
do.
With
And
that
you
being
know,
said, Kamitru,
yeah.
no, go ahead, love. Go ahead. No,
No,
go
I
ahead.
was
Go.
just saying, you know better, you do better. And with that being said, just move in
Yeah,
a better space. Don't you be on your own if you need to. If you ain't finding no quality, just continue to work on yourself. Ain't no wrong with being on your own. People think you single. Say, well, you've been single for 18 months. Yeah, it's going on 2 years, bro. Because I ain't trying to settle, and I'm watching my energy. So yeah, it is what it is.
protect your energy at all times, at all costs,
At
man.
all costs. Yep. Yep.
Yo, I want to appreciate the chat that came on. I supported us. Appreciate you very much for coming on there, Tyrone, MJ.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. People that were viewing that they didn't interact, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, super chat, share this video. Tyrone, you already know what it is, brother. Back on here, send that email. We'll get you
Wrong.
back on with the sister.
Cracking up. MJ, I'll hit you later. Yeah.
We'll delve more into this. Yeah, definitely. MJ too could jump on here if she wants to. You know what I'm saying? We all get it on.
Yeah.
We do this as a healing session and we
Absolutely.
learn.
Yep.
This is a no judgment zone. I'm not here to judge anybody because, you know what I'm saying? Those who judge and ridicule, at the end of the day, they're pointing fingers back at themselves. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
holding it down, so save it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not with that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
We throwing stones from a glass house, from a second floor window. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Stop it.
Not the
Yeah.
second floor window.
Yeah,
Okay.
second floor window before I blow your house down. Um, I appreciate you for coming out for real,
Thank you,
Kamitru.
Mikey, for
It
having
means a
me
lot to
on.
us,
Thank you
man.
so much. Thank you for everybody in the
Thank
chat.
you.
MJ, I'll probably see you tomorrow on my YouTube. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Go out there, support. Sister got a book out there too. You
Yep.
know,
I know you want to strangle him, but dot dot dot. It is a for women that have been in a long-term relationship and trying to find themselves afterwards. That's what it's for. It's not a man bashing book. We don't do that. And check me out. I do tarot and oracle message on Divine Karmas, oracle messages on YouTube, and check your girl out there as well.
good. We gotta bring it on the show as well. That being said, my people, peace.
Peace. Thanks, Mikey.
Anytime, sister. You're welcome.